Alright, test. Hopefully everything's working. Looks like you can hear me, so bring this bird song down. Go over to here. Hopefully that's working. Alright. Test. Uh-oh. I left something on. I shouldn't be able to hear myself. There we go. Should be better now. Welcome in, everybody. Alright, so I don't have too many photos this week, but I can go back to Alberta ones as well. But we also have to check out later this one. Songs of Eastern Birds. It even still has the shrink wrap on it. This is from 1970. And it cost someone at what I believe is the University of New Brunswick bookstore $4.75 in the 70s or 80s. It does say Canada on the back, as in like there's a stamp on it, so it's an import. Because this was made in the US, so for some reason it's got a Canada sticker on it, which I guess symbolizes import. It's interesting that this LP says it's for the Eastern United States. Most things these days would say Eastern US and Canada. So that's kind of curious. But we'll look through that more later. All right, let's see. Hopefully the microphone's loud enough. I will turn it up if not. But I think it should be good. It looks like I'm at the yellow zone, so that's good. On the mixer, let's get some birds going here. There's going to be some videos this time for sure, because today I got a whole bunch of bird videos, so we'll see what comes out of that. Okay, this so these are from the last 2 weeks. There's only a few from last week. Most of them are in the last 2-3 days. This one was from sometime last week when a whole bunch of crows just showed up in the backyard and went up in a tree on the street next to me, like the next street over. This is 4, 8, 12, 17 crows is what it looks like here. I don't usually get this many crows in the neighborhood, so I grabbed my camera and got as many photos as I could. Now it's through a window pane, so there's a little bit of a blur from that too. Let's see here. So this is 4, 8, 12, 16 or 17. Maybe one took off from the previous photo. It looks like there's 2. No, there is just one right there. There's 2 here, though. Yes, there was some important meeting. Oh, we're really zoomed in there. And these are sycamore trees. This is why they have these little balls hanging from there. That's the seeds, the seed dispersal units, I think. We're hearing a junco in the background sounds. I don't know if any of these crow photos are worth editing, but they were interesting, at least at the time. Oh, okay. Let's see. That is kind of far, but I do want to see what I could do with something this far through a window. Welcome in, Boat Ladder. Yeah, I can't do a lot because it's overcast on top of everything else. Bring up the shadows, but we're going to get very noisy. And I don't mind a bit of noise, but we're getting to a level of noise where you can't even really see the eyes that well, so yeah. Wonder if one of these photos I could do something else with, though. What's this a photo? Oh, this is me trying to get something in the backyard. Just want to see if any of these could be turned into something. No, that's all right. Not everything has to be turned into something. This is me trying to get some juncos in the backyard. We had a lot of snow in the last couple of weeks. Like, you can see how much is just piled up right on these branches and things. This is me trying to get a bird that disappeared, I guess. Oh, hey, hello. So this has been one of my backyard birds all winter. Just one white-throated sparrow. Doesn't even have a white throat. How rude. But actually it's a... he or she is a juvenile, that's why. No white throat. They get all streaky in the throat when they're young. But they still have the same look of contempt. That photo has a little bit of blur. That one's okay. Got good angry bird vibes here. It's got a bit of blur too. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. Actually, when you contrast it with everything else around, I wonder if the focus point is actually here, though. And look at these claws. Some serious claws for a little bird. And we got our blurry junco eating some seeds. Okay, let's see what's the best out of this. So far my thoughts are that this might be the best one, actually. Because this looks like proper focus. This looks blurred a bit, because I think it got into focus later. I think that's what happened. But I also just like this profile. Let's see what Otto's going to do. Oh. Yeah, okay. Otto knows what to do, apparently. I'm going to frame this better, though. Let's see here. Welcome in, math teacher guy. Thanks again for the resub the other night. In case you didn't get to hear the thanks then, because I know it was a little delayed. Yeah, this is pretty good for a through the window shot. It's a nice thing sometimes about having backyard feeders. Sometimes you get some free bird photos. Free and easy bird photos. I was about to say maybe he's standing on one leg, but he's actually just, he or she is just awkwardly perched on one foot here and the other kind of, sort of resting. Not entirely. It's definitely holding all of its weight on one leg right here. Yeah, I love that when you get this close in photos, you can start seeing individual feathers, each of the pieces of the feathers. I don't know if those are called tines or what they're called. It's something I should know. Let's see if there's anything else I can do here. One of the people on my stream talk about DMing the popping your stream. Oh, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, for me, that's usually a once-a-year thing, but I hope to do it more at some point. It's just once a year for streaming, that is. Usually a weekly thing for us for recording. Also testing out, what do you call it? Not restreaming, just multi-streaming this to YouTube tonight. Because I have had to go through the process of moving a lot of my old VODs, the highlights, to YouTube. And I realized that streams like this one, which I do want to put on the one YouTube channel, I might as well just also stream this kind of stream to YouTube as well. So I'm giving that a test tonight to see how the quality is versus the VOD and Twitch. So we want more vibrance, maybe. And it helps that yellow to pop a little more. The yellow lures are not very visible on this bird. It's kind of interesting. If I can keep getting photos of this week by week, we might be able to see its new plumage come in and no longer be a juvenile. Not sure if you can tell if it's male or female from the plumage, though. I don't think that's knowable. Not from plumage alone, at least. but we can tell this is turning into a tan stripe morphology, which means it's going to be in the shyer side of white-throated sparrows in theory. There was a time when it was thought that tan stripe meant female, but it doesn't. It just means one kind of female. Because this is a weird bird species that essentially has 4 sexes. It functionally has 4 sexes. And just because each sex is attracted to the opposite sex of the opposite morphology. So the morphology of white stripe, tan stripe never gets bred out because they're attracted to opposites. It's a really bizarre trait. It's almost like the male white stripes assume the tan stripes are females, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I guess there needs to be there probably is a lot more study lately about this, because it was only discovered a few years ago, but it has been a few years, so maybe some people have figured it out. Okay, I don't want this so... Yeah, paint is a better one. It's a little more subtle. Yeah, this one's a good one. This is our backyard white-throated sparrow. Let's call this Feb. Export it. It's looking like a good bird. Alright. Where were we here? Oh yeah, I took some photos when I was, last weekend I was doing some snowshoeing. I took some photos during that. Alright, so we got the rest of that. We got our junco, backyard junco eating some seeds. Look at that snow though, very fluffy. It's a little blurry. Alright, this is me going through Coots Paradise snowshoeing. This is a lake. I was thinking of streaming there, but the problem is I could only stay on the part of the lake that was sheltered from the wind because it's just too windy. If I'd streamed here, it just would have been, all you'd hear would be wind blowing. So I got some pictures of various landscapes there. I think I got a couple of like how it looked. Let me see if I got a good wind coming in. Yeah, look at all that wind. Wish it had been sunny. That would have made for a better photo, I think. Welcome in, Wheat Stalker. Why are the sounds not working? I don't know. Oh, it is working. Maybe I just didn't hear early burp for some reason. Wait, is it working? Let me check OBS.
Wheat Stalker just subscribed. Yo.
Thanks again, Wheat Stalker, for the 12 months. I think that may almost be a year. Let me get you your winter wren here. There you go. For some reason that didn't play. That's the early bird. I remember now, I got that thing going, then I had to restart OBS, and every time I start OBS, I have to reset that thing, so that's why. No sound yet. Alright, so yeah, this was Coots Paradise Snowshoeing Edition. Yeah, the photos are not as good as I'd hoped. Oh well. Maybe I can get out there tomorrow morning and get some better ones. So we got a hairy woodpecker. Is this from 2 days ago? Or this is from yesterday, even. Yeah, this is yesterday. Oh, wow. It's an obscured photo, but, you know, blue jays seem to like to hide from me. I don't know why. This one did not want its photo taken properly. Like, they don't even come to the bird feeder here for some reason. I have to get some peanuts or something, maybe. Really entice them. We should have grackles here in the next week or two, so that'll be another fun new species to get some photos of. Alright, this is today. trying to get this card. Oh no, this is yesterday. This was yesterday. You can see a part of him that's not as red as the rest. Maybe that's still coming in. That's a good photo there, despite the dangling thing. I don't care about editing stuff like that out, but that's, ooh, that's also good too. It's a nice profile. I kind of like this looking down thing too. Oh, there's a good one too. Wow, so many good ones in this. I like this, except we're just missing the glint in the eye. That would be really nice to see with that angle. And we kind of get it in this one again. Yeah, it looks like he was posing. Now, these ones were, there was a couple of them. They were singing some, calling some, and then chasing each other around. A couple different males. They're starting to get territorial now. There are ways you can cheat and kind of get a glint in the eye there. But let's see what other photos he has. A lot of good ones with the eyeball. That's the thing a lot of people look for in their bird photos or just general wildlife photos, is getting that sun glint off an eye. That's like one of the things people look for in a good bird photo. Now, it doesn't have to be there, but it is something that makes things pop quite a bit for people. So I'm just trying to see which one here is like the best candidate. Look at me color on him. This one is just kind of amusing. This one's also quite amusing. Okay, I can't get the whole bird in that. Well, I can get the whole bird in this one, though. Why don't we go with this one? I don't even know if I want to change anything much in this, but first we give auto a try, just to see what it thinks. It thinks it wants to overexpose things. So what happens sometimes when it is stuff like this, you'll notice this red starts to go yellow. Partly because it's just oversaturating. And you want a little bit there, because like that's the sunlight, and it is, you know, it is an effect of the cardinal feathers, I'm pretty sure, because there is a rare form of cardinal that occasionally they'll be all yellow, and it has to do with something with the chemicals that are supposed to be in their feathers, and there's one missing, and then you suddenly get yellow. So I think technically there is something in the cardinal that produces yellow as well, but I'm not sure if that's showing in the photo because of that, or or if it's like a structural color thing or something. Yeah. Good looking burb. Let's frame this. Geez, you are very well framed. Only thing I would do is just pull it a little to the left like that. Because that will... Yeah, we want a little bit like this because we want a little bit of crest in the top quarter, a little bit of feet in the lower, nothing up here, nothing up there. Red-winged blackbird today, nice. What region is that in? You're getting, are they like on their way in or on their way through, or are they just wintering there? Sometimes a few will winter around here, but I haven't seen any in a while. Not this winter, at least. Previous winters, I'd seen them. Okay, Jeez, I don't really want to do anything with this photo. We're just using it as is. This was at, I want to say Fiddler's Green. February 22. Philadelphia. Okay, yeah. So you could have some there in the winter there. It could also just be passing through. It could go either way. But we are fast approaching when they are going to start arriving, so Odds are they're passing through, I would say. If you haven't noticed any until today. Okay, gonna keep going on this cardinal. I believe I kept pursuing this cardinal, being unsure if I'd gotten any good photos, but apparently I had. There's a little strand right here. A little bit of overexposure, but that's okay. Ooh, there's a good one. That's a good look. Oh, I like this where this crest is getting... See, some people get annoyed with like sticks and stuff in the way. What's cool about this photo is it's interacting with the bird. This crest is being pushed. Here's another one with the this look. Crest is getting a little stuck there. Does he do that again? Oh, well, here's a takeoff shot. It's a little blurry, but it's there. Secretary bird. Yeah, they're big. Okay, I like the one where his hair is getting all messed up by it. So is that the one there? Yeah, and then the next one, there's a little bit of mess up, but this is the real, like, getting the hair messed with. Let's see if we can pull this in on that side. Yeah, good. Because that'll allow us to kind of feature this happening. This is another one where I'm pretty sure if I try to hit auto, it's going to do a bad job. Yeah, it's going to overexpose. There's been this trend I've noticed in the last, I want to say, 5 to 6 years, and it's been happening in film as well too, like in movies, in television, where everything's getting just overexposed, HDR, nothing, like not overexposed, sorry. Everything's getting too unrealistically colorful and highly bright. There's like no darks anymore. And where there are darks, you can see some detail in it, you know, which you're not supposed to if it's supposed to be black. There's no black anymore in anything. And then you don't have things like, you know, this is an overexposed section here. There's too much brightness. You wouldn't have that in a lot of modern photography. And yeah, I could probably correct that with a little bit of editing, but I don't mind it. Yeah, I think Secretary Bird was, yeah, that was definitely mentioned in The Simpsons. Yeah, this is another good male cardinal. I like the hair. And then off he goes. Oh, this is an interesting pose. What is he even doing? Oh, I see. He's looking up and then flapping wings. This may have been taking off as I took it. Yeah. Hopping up a branch, maybe. Okay, so that was the end of that. But this is a little interesting, this under angle here where you can get a little bit of glint of sunlight off the throat. Yes, Secretary Carpenter, Secretary Bird, Nurse Shark. Yeah, now I remember that. I knew it sounded familiar. Wildcats, thanks for the 7 months. It's almost a year. Hope you're having a good night.
Wildcats just subscribed.
We're looking at cardinals right now, but we're going to go on to bald eagle next. Not very close up, but certainly not as close up as this. Also, I just want to note that cardinals seem to not have as big of claws as white-throated sparrows, which is not what I would have expected because cardinals are much bigger than white-throated sparrows. So it must be because of all the digging white-throated sparrows do. Okay, now we're on to today. Bald eagle I came across. but it was across a bay, and I think there's a... Let me see if there's a photo to demonstrate how far away this is. Yeah, we'll go here. So I am looking across bay right here, and it is this lump in the tree up there. And there we go, adult bald eagle. Now I did get this is about as close to the photo as I can get, so they're not very detailed. But, well, that one's a little better. Did I get better lighting for that? Oh no, it's just the, okay, it's just the raw processing going on. Okay. That means I could brighten it up some. I'm still gonna get a lot of noise probably. Let's see what we could do with processing on this. Auto. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, it's a good bird photo. It's not anything too close up. It doesn't really... Yeah. The reason I'm not working on this one either right now is because I've got so many bald eagle photos, but also it doesn't really demonstrate location terribly well. If I was to redo this photo, I'd probably frame it... Oh, wait, here's... This is a better representation of what I was seeing, actually. I was like, that seems not... that doesn't seem that far away from that previous photo. Yeah, it's proof you saw it, for one thing. And people call that record photos. You're kind of keeping it for your record. I could throw it on eBird, etc. So this is what the fully zoomed out camera looks like. This is like partially zoomed in, giving a frame. But if I was to redo this photo, I'd probably do something portrait where I would try to get the whole tree and some of these trees down here and it up there somehow. But yeah, if I was to reframe that, that's just a thing. Yeah, and here's where the bird started taking off. And I got video of it. We'll see how good that video is. I do have DaVinci Resolve running right now, so I could use it to stabilize if it looks really bad. So here it is. And yeah, let's mute our background burbs and see what this sounds. It's probably going to be a windy. Yeah, you know what? Let's mute that. So you don't need to hear just wind going. That is the eagle. Now, this is with the lens fully extended, so this is super far away, and it's very hard to hold it stable as it is, but against the wind, even harder. So every time there's a gust of wind, my hand will move just slightly because it's just... The thing's fully extended, so there's a bit more wind, a bit more for the wind to push. But also, this is literally at 65 times zoom, so if I sneezed, it would go completely out of frame, for example, which I would not be able to stabilize that. But just keeping it this steady was difficult. So, yeah, it's going over there. I am curious if I can find... I'm going to see if I can go and find her. Yeah. So maybe we'll take a look at this and resolve. Growing up, there were a tree. My dad would give a look at bald eagles in winter, often 5 or 6. Wow. Tree in Yellowstone, 90% lucky enough to find the bald eagles in. Nice. Okay. We'll take DaVinci Resolve. Let's open that up for you people to see. Gonna see if I can drag that into the timeline here. Yeah, change frame rate. I'm gonna see if I can run a stabilizer on it, if I can remember how to do that. I think it's an effect. Video. Stabilization, there we go. Stabilize. Alright, so that's going to take a second to process. So it should be pretty quick, and then we'll get a chance to look at it stabilized and see if it does much better. And I'll try to make it bigger. So it's going to be tiny on here just now. All right. Let's make this timeline a bit bigger so you can see what I'm looking at. Why do we see that? Oh, there we go. So this is stabilized. Oh, and you're probably hearing stuff. I'm gonna turn that off. I still get to hear the lovely wind though. So yeah, that's much better, much more stabilized. So you'll notice there's a lot of piles of ice. They're kind of like sheets of glass, all those piles too. I've got some photos later where it's just little mountains of ice sheets. They just look like piles of broken glass. Whoa, up and land. Yeah, we lost some focus on there, but that's not bad. And we're going to be doing more of this later, so I'll come back to it after. Because there is some other birds I got a lot of later. All right. Okay, we got a house finch. It was hiding well. I was trying to get audio of it, but then it got interrupted. There was a dog nearby barking, so it wasn't too useful. I'm just double checking. Now this guy's eye looked fine. This is a male house finch. There was a female around, but she didn't want to like present like this. Though I might have photos of the two of them together. Although there was about 8, total, but there was a particular couple. Yeah, there's the male there and there's the female. She's like looking with disdain over here. Okay, I do want to come back to that one because this might honestly be the best photo of the bunch. I'm not expecting much out of the rest of them, but we'll see. Let's bring this bird in a bit. Maybe about here. Let's give me a good pose. What's Otto want to do here? Hey, it's right this time. I like it. Not going to do too much more. I might do my usual curve of like adding some darks and lights to things. Maybe even highlighting a bit of yellow. Giving a little blue to the shadow. Maybe a little more, yeah, a little more red to the mid-tone. I don't like do much. I don't like to do anything too deep. I like subtle on this kind of stuff. Paint priority, which is going to be a lot more subtle. The other ones I have not done vignetting much. But I think this one, it helps quite a bit to have some. In fact, I might go color. Yeah, that does a bit better. A little more dramatic, but I think if you didn't know that I just did that, you wouldn't notice it as much because the bird is highlighted really well. So we'll export that as our Selkirk Feb 23 house finch male. Back to our library here and let's see. Let's see how this progressed. Got them looking the wrong way. Continuing to look the wrong way. There's the female kind of looking the right way, but a little obscured. Oh, our recording, we can hear the tufted titmouse in the background. Audio sound. The background, or background bird song, I mean. Wow, that is not a good angle for a bird. It's not the right angle for this bird. This angle's okay, but you do get a good look at the chompers. Welcome in, Shmonite. This is the look downwards upon the people below. Okay, so that was the end of that. If there was a glint in the eye there, that would be a really not a terrible photo. It's an interesting one, at least. Let's see what we can do with it. There is a way to cheat that. It's been a few years since I even tried doing that. I feel like... Let's see. I mean, yeah, I think that's actually not too bad. I would even brighten more. But bring the darks a little darker. Maybe not. Maybe bring them up a bit more even. Yeah, let's make the brights even brighter. Let's go a little crazy. This does need a different kind of framing though. It's a little offset. Don't know that I want to lose the tail though. Yeah, just about there is probably about as far as I can go. A lot of white space on the left though. This is almost better as a portrait style photo. If I were to try to bring the bird in like this. That would actually make a bit more sense. A little bit to the right-ish. That's too much. This is all so, like, subjective, but... Sometimes I'd like to nitpick these. All right, you look good. There is a trick you can do. I haven't done in a while, and I'm not sure. Let's see. Can I do an object? Yeah, we need to make a small size. So the trick you do, if you really want to mess with things. No, that was wrong. Let's go back here. I'll be selecting that object, then bringing this up. So you can, yeah, do something like that. Lights up. So, yeah. There's no way to really show that with that on and off, but to show the difference. But it makes a little difference. It brightens up the eye quite a bit. So if I was to, I guess, there's a view here called before after. Yeah. Left, right. So yeah. It's a bit brighter now. The eye stands out better. It's a good bird. Thanks, Wildcats. All right, I did take some photos from the car alongside the road of Lake Erie. This is the sheets of glass I was telling you about. Let's look at this ice. This ice looks like it might be a few inches thick. This is distant. Like this is, what's the lens length on this? 62 millimeter length of zoom on this. So that's, wait, really? Doesn't seem like a lot. No, here we go. Yeah, that's the focal length. The lens length of 242 millimeters. So 247. The thing is capable of 1200. So this is like 4 times zoom, I want to say. Yeah, these are big. So this is further back. I guess this is more zoomed in. Yeah, you can see all of this, like just This is all pushed up on shore, I guess, when things were melting a bit. You wouldn't have wanted to have been out there. It just looks like a pile of... It's almost like it's all garbage, but it's not. It's just all ice sheets. Yeah, why is it not... It's not telling me the lens length properly, I don't think, but that's okay. It's far away. You can say that. Yeah, it's hard to even tell what I'm looking at here. Like, if I do auto, does it... Ooh, neat. So hard to tell what we're even looking at. Let's try auto on this. Brings out the blues, that's for sure. And this isn't at shore. This is like probably 100 meters out from shore. So right now you can just walk right out there. In fact, I'm pretty sure all of this behind is all frozen too. It's just different. You can see where the shore was for a while, where the piles were pushed up, and then the shore kept going further and further out. I don't know how covered Lake Erie is right now, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear that it's mostly covered right now. Yeah, when the wind blows them, they stack up the shore. It's so neat. Yeah, here's one of the big piles that I found in another spot. Like, that's probably 20 feet high, I want to say. Somewhere in the 15 to 20 feet high, I'd want to say. Because this is really long distance. I don't know if I took a photo that was... Okay, this is probably full reach of the camera here. This is not full distance. Probably half. I don't know what that photo is. Oh, this is me trying to figure out this bird. It was very dark when I was looking, and it was bobbing its tail. And I was like, I can't possibly have another pipit again. I was like, I want to make sure I don't have another pipit. And no, I didn't, but I just wanted to make sure. So it's a tree sparrow. Just all on its own. Does he have a bit of a white on his cheek? I want to look at this bird a little more closely. It's an odd tree sparrow if it has white on its cheek, I think. Hopping around. Interesting. I don't associate tail pumping with tree sparrows much, but I guess they do that sometimes. Or it could have been just because it was windy out. I'm not sure. Okay, this went really blurry. Oh, this is when I was getting into some different birds. There was some birds that I wasn't sure what they were, because again, they look very dark to me because the entire landscape was white. The sky was white. So looking at any dark bird was just impossible for my eyes, because my eyes were just bleached out from everything. So these are all horned larks. You can get a good look at a male right there. But we'll get better looks at horned larks soon. I just want to see if this... I don't think that's a Lapland longspur. Alright, so I went back to the snow bunting banding site. There was nobody there banding today, or at least not when I got there. I got there at noon. They were probably there earlier that morning. But there's going to be a lot of video of these guys, because I got out my tripod, a really nice stable tripod, and got some lengthy videos of these guys. So, but first, I just want to see how some of these photos turned out. Much better than last time, I think. Because last time it was super windy. Like, this time it was a little bit windy, but last time it was super windy, so it was really difficult to get stable photos. And I didn't want to leave the car at the time because I'd still had more of that muscle injury issue, which is much better now. So it's much easier for me to get in and out of the car. It doesn't actually cause me any issues, really, at this point. So I was willing to get out and get set up with a, oh boy, it's so funny. So we got a mix of snow buntings and horned lark, and what's this? Is that something different? That might be another horned lark. But we're going to look for long spurs just in case. I didn't see any when I was there, like looking through binoculars, but if there was any there, the camera should have captured them at some point. So if we see a long spur, we'll point it out. But shortly here, we're going to have some videos to piece together. And that's also why I have the video editor open. Because Lightroom is not meant for video editing. Sometimes it feels like it's not even meant for playing videos at all. Oh, look at this guy in the background hopping. You can see the snow buntings are all in all kinds of different stages of molt. Well, not molt, but their plumages wear away over time until they get into their breeding plumage. Their breeding plumage will actually be this plumage except worn down until it's just black and white. So all of the cream-colored browns and all that will eventually wear away over time until they're just black and white birds. And that's when they're going to be breeding up in the Arctic. They do not like to stick around when there's no snow left, so they will flee when the snow goes. This is a more distance shot. Some of them were spread out over the field. I've never really seen buntings do this before, but I assume maybe it's just because there are so many horned larks mixed in. Because larks, they're fine with distributing. Buntings don't usually do that, but I don't know. Maybe they're being influenced by all the larks around. At least not in open fields like that where they're not feeding. Like they're feeding like this, they're going to be clustered. If they were feeding in field, just walking around, yeah, they'll be spread out a lot. But just sitting there, that's a little odd. Because they weren't walking around or anything. Or maybe it's not odd. Maybe it's just a new behavior for me to see that I hadn't seen before. So this is more horned lark and bunting. Ooh, lone horned lark. Might work on one of these photos in a bit, but I kind of want to get to the videos. Okay, yeah, we can't do that in develop, but we can do it here. So let's take a look at some of these. Interesting. This is just going to be a lot of blowing wind, so I'm going to... where's it? Oh, yeah. I'm the one hearing it, not you. So let's go to the next one. What's this one? This one's a lot longer. I would have thought the video quality would be higher, but I guess this is also... I'm looking at it on a 4K monitor, so... And I do know it's going to be 1280p at best, so... Or 1080p, sorry. For what the camera can do. This is one case where maybe bringing my Panasonic would have made sense because it can do 4K videos. And this isn't sped up or anything. Like, this is what they're like. They are very frantic and move very quickly. These are not slow birds. So far, it's mostly snow buntings and a few horned larks, which is the opposite we got last time. We had these a couple weeks ago. It's mostly horned larks, a few Laplands, and like a couple snow buntings. I don't see any Lapland longspurs in this bunch. Okay, we'll go to the next one. And you can see how different the plumage is on some of them too. What's this? This is a short one. Oh, we'll play through it. So it's corn that has been set out. So this is a banding site. So there's corn intentionally set out for them to feed, and the banders will set out traps, and they'll put some of the seed inside the traps. And the traps are set up in a way that whenever they just walk into it, it closes on them. And then when there's a few birds in there, the banders go out and bring the cages with the birds and then band them individually. And that's for research purposes. Because they do this every year, and they've done this every year for I don't know how long. It's probably been 40 or 50 years. And it's used to track migration patterns. And they also measure the weight of them, how much food they're storing in their crop, it's called, where they store their food. When they first swallow it, they don't actually digest it right away. They stick it kind of in a thing in their chest, kind of in their throat and chest, that as a bit of a reserve. It's kind of like a pouch. They use it like a pouch. So they measure the size of that. And here we go. They use it to track how they're changing over years and decades and so on. But typically what they would be eating would be seeds, just various seeds. They would just dig out of the ground. So they like certain farm fields for that. Cornfields, for example, they would not normally get corn because there are cornfields around, so they would get it normally. But also just a lot of wildflowers and things like wheat and oat and stuff like that, I believe they would go after. This is a horned lark with the horns. Those fine horns on this male. Small bunch of them here. I was lucky to get there when there wasn't a bander there, because there was nobody to disrupt taking photos or anything. And I'm not disrupting them in any way. It's also nice to have a reliable spot you know that they're going to show up at. Because a typical flock is going to move around so much, and they're not necessarily going to be near the road. So you're not going to get this close of a view. This is like, my lens is fully extended on this, but still. Does it even say? It doesn't say in a video. But this is fully 65 times zoom at this point. Yeah, so I took a lot of like long... Don't have to watch through all of these, but there was a couple I want to take a look at where there was flocks flying around. I may or may not have gotten decent videos of like... See, here's a bit of a distant shot, but then they decided to all fly off. So what about this? This is a little further away. Because I wanted some shots of different angles and different views. What do we got? This here. Oh, okay, this was a bird that was on the other side of the road. Now this one's foraging naturally, quote unquote naturally. This is more the typical behavior of a horned lark, how it would find food. I like how he stops to preen for a second. I think we see in a couple spots where he slips too, or he or she. Can't tell if this is a... Yeah, this one's a male. It's got horns. I think. Yeah, it's got horns. Male. It slipped a little bit there. There's a car going behind me if you hear that. Oh, it slipped again. This one has a band. So if we stop and zoom in, I don't know, can you see? No, you can't see that. But if I... Oh, right. I can't zoom in on videos like that. That's annoying. That's a different one. We'll go back to that video. You can kind of see it here. You kind of, I guess, might have to trust me, but you'll notice there's a leg and then there's a little thing there. That's a band. There we go. That's a better view. So you can see just right there. Little band. In the UK or Europe, they would call that a ring. or ringing instead of banding. So if you're familiar with that term instead, there's some slipping again. Picking up the ice a little bit. And next video. Is this the same bird? I think it's the same bird. Oh, right. I was worried that it might be going out of focus, so I did a stop. Slipped again. So I did a stop and start. I think this is a young bird because it's got a lot of extra brown on the front. Might be immature. Just took off. And then this is in the same area, a bunch of snow buntings doing this is more of their natural foraging methods. It's nice to have a proper tripod for this finally. It does slip a bit though. The reason it's so jerky is because I am fully extended on the zoom on it, so any motion is a lot of motion. Yeah, he's picking stuff out of the ground there. You'll notice there's so many different stages of plumage here. Oh. There's another horned lark. I like how he's like, what? Where'd everybody go? I was trying to get a flying shot there. Now, there's a few attempts I made at this. It was so bright out there, it was impossible to look at my monitor, like the monitor on the back of the camera, to know what I was even looking at. Like, I could not see those birds in the monitor at all. So, yeah, that was only a few seconds long. That's a broader view of that same site. Yeah, here's me trying to get photos of them, but not sure if I did. And I did, apparently. This is the flock in flight. Just a little blurred. That's a bit better. You can really see the snow buntings when they stand out because they have this black and white thing going on. There's one snow bunting in this photo. Apparently my lens needs cleaning. Yeah, oh boy, okay, I gotta do that. That's noticeable in these kind of more plain shots. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that is noticeable. Okay, make sure it's not my monitor. Sometimes I'm like, oh, there's a stain there, but no, it's my monitor. Okay, and here's something unusual they don't usually do. They do it sometimes. It's not that I've never seen this. It's just it doesn't happen very often that snow buntings land in a tree. Because in their kind of natural northern habitat, they don't have trees up in the tundra. And it's not like they can't perch on stuff like this. It's just they don't usually do it very much. And this group decided to hang out in a tree. Now, it wasn't very close to me. So this is like fully extended zoom here. But I was able to catch them doing this. I don't think I've actually photographed this many in one tree before. It's usually been just like 4 or 5. And this group was probably 150 snow buntings. So it was a short video. Wonder why that video was so short. Maybe I was like, yeah, that's just too far away. Oh no, there's another one. Okay. So this is probably... Pretty sure they stay in that tree the entire rest of the time that I was there. This group. There's quite a few others. It wasn't just these ones. Alright, and then I was trying to track some around. See what this video looks like. Some more long distance. I was realizing it didn't have a lot of long distance shots. Oh, so at some point they took off here. Look at that dispersal event. Just go into the background. Like how they're just running up here and waddling. Okay, that was over there. This one's a bit more close up. I think I was just trying to take photos or video of them like taking off and stuff like that. Yeah, there they go. Look how fast they're gone. They are gone in a few frames here. 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, about 15 frames. And they're out of here. That's pretty fun. This is me trying to track them through the air. As they came into land. Let's see, one more short one here. Yeah, it's a bit of them in flight. And there's a longer one that presumably is me trying to get a whole bunch of them in frame for a flight. Let's see, I'm just going to scan here. Yeah, here we go. Such a frantic group. Let's see, I'm just fast forwarding here a bit. Look at these guys. Alright, so we're going to find a photo of one to edit. Or of a bunch of them. We'll see. That's kind of amusing. Just want to take a look at this. Oh yeah, here's another takeoff event. It's gone so fast. And then they come back so quick too. If you wait, let's see if I, yeah. There they are coming back in. Oh, took off again. I don't even know what it is that's spooking them. It's something spooked them. Alright, let's edit one of each of those species, or at least maybe just a group of them would be nice too. See if there's a good photo in the group. Let's see here. Just want to see if any stand out for me. Need a good group shot where, oh yeah, you can tell both species here pretty good. Okay, where was that? That's up around here-ish. So let's flag it. If I can, there we go, flag. What about up here? Oh, this is good too. More looking away though. I kind of like this. Just because you can really see. That one snow bunting looks so funny. I think that's him there too. Okay, I kind of like this too because there's a lot of activity and a lot of different ones doing different things. There's too many to choose from. Let's go with this one just to select something. I don't think any of them are going to be fully ideal. It's because it's at a bit of a distance. Whoa, auto is a bad idea. Wow. I think just brightening this even more is actually a little more helpful. More highlights or less? It shadows up a bit, but I want to bring a bit more darkness there. And we'll bring this a little bit there to make it stand out a bit better. Let's see what vibrance would do here. Ooh, too much. Maybe a touch of yellow into this. Oh, is that even noticeable? I guess it is somewhat noticeable. Maybe the yellow needs to be more obvious too. I don't know if I want to vignette this though. Well, maybe. But maybe we'll do it more like this. Let's see. I want it very feathered though. Yeah. Yeah, let's use that. I want something. So we'll go to Songbirding Feb 23. I don't know if there's much left here, but I did want to go to the LP shortly as well. Ooh, this is pretty. This is a neat pick. What setting is this in? I feel like I did a weird setting for this. This doesn't seem. Yeah, it's a JPEG. That's why something's off. Why is it a JPEG? No, it was in the wrong setting. It should be RAW, not JPEG. No wonder some of these are looking a little odd. It's probably an auto mode, some kind of mode that was for the video, but not for photos. See, I was thinking some of these looked a little off because I normally shoot in RAW. The one I edit was it at least because this is in CR3, so this is normal. So yeah, let's take a look at this in auto. Actually, not bad. Probably bring that a bit down. Maybe even a touch more exposure. Probably do color priority here. Just give it a little blue. Feather it a fair bit. A little more round. Yeah, that's not bad. Do number 2 there. All right. So I'm going to see if I can get my document camera and everything working for this thing. So give me a second while I swap a whole bunch of things around here. I won't need the webcam up anymore because it's just, I won't even be sitting here. I'll be sitting where the document camera is. So let me figure this out. How do I do that? Control studio mode, I think is what I gotta do. I have to go there. All right. Turn that off. All right. I'm going to move some things around, and I'll be right back with the document camera. Maybe I'll bring up the sounds of the background birds and put a BRB thing on here just briefly. Is there a BRB thing? I don't have a BRB thing, but I'll BRB. That's working. I'm going to turn off a background bird. Because we're going to shortly get to this. Let me rearrange some things so I can actually see chat. It's awkward because I have to move to a different chair and I can't see some of it, but I can see parts of it. Let's see here. So I bring this up all the way. Light's a bit bright there, but that's just... So this is Songs of Eastern Birds. Donald J. Borror. Wonder if we can see what from here. See how good the text. We can read the text well. Yeah, I think this camera is pretty decent for that. There's a little bit of like shininess because I have overhead lights, but maybe someday I'll fix that. There is a light I can turn on this. That may or may not help. So this record contains a song of 60 species of birds of all... Wait, what? Record contains a song of 60 species of birds, all of which are common to at least some sections of eastern United States, either in breeding, species, or migrants. All recordings were made in the field by the author, a noted birdwatcher and ornithologist. So that's Donald Borror, who has the Borror Lab named after him in Ohio State University. These songs have been arranged in 10 bands, and that's just the different bands on the LP, the vinyl, in more or less increasing order of complexity. Okay, that's an interesting choice. So starting with simpler calls and then more complicated calls. I've never thought about doing that order because I am working on something that's similar to this. Digital though, not in vinyl. Thus, the first band begins with relatively simple songs, most of which appear single note or phrase, while the last band contains some complex songs, most of which are relatively loud with a whistled or warbled quality, some of which are quite long. Emphasis on songs typical to the species, but as Professor Borror notes in the introduction and accompanying booklet, variations often occur in the songs of a single individual, from individual to individual, and also due to factors such as maturity and season. Oh, the copy editors must have hated the number of instances of the word individual in one sentence. For this reason, recordings of 2 or more individuals are included for almost all species. In some cases, the songs of immatures or migrants are also given. Oh, that's interesting. So, now it says accompanying is a 32-page booklet. So I picked this up for $2.49 today, Canadian. And it did come with the booklet, and it is seemingly in like basically mint condition. Booklet, the cat hair on it. Other than that, it's looks to be mint. Like this doesn't look like it was really read at all, because there would be more folds in it. This was 1970. I looked it up. There's only 2 printings of this particular album. One called the dark blue label and one light blue label. This is the dark blue label, so I think this is the first one. Discogs.com was the one I used to figure that out. So what's neat in this booklet is that they give you, like our first bird here, it's going to be this Chuck Will's Widow. I'm going to hold this down over here. See if I can get this Chuck Will's Widow in frame. And we'll hit play on this thing, see what it sounds like. Now, hopefully there's not too much bleed through on my mic with my speakers here, but we'll see. If I turn it this way, it'll be better. I may also have to turn my mic down.
Chuck Will's Widow.
So we don't get these locally here anymore. We used to a long time ago.
Olive-sided flycatcher. 1.
Okay. It's the one known as having a call of quick 3 beers.
Two. Three.
So it's funny, I know this to be quick 3 beers, but this book says it's quick free beer. So things vary a bit. Different people have different ideas for mnemonics.
4.
So these are the calls, which it describes as PPP. Which I think that's pretty accurate. I'm curious if the name is still
Acadian flycatcher.
Nuttolornis borealis.
1.
Okay, Acadian, we do get that around here, but it's rare. I've recorded a handful of these. They're kind of in decline in Canada. Peep is what they describe in here.
2.
Pete Heap, it says on the description here. For this specific call.
American woodcock.
All right. Get your Timberdoodle emotes out. This is the Timberdoodle. Nasal Pete, American woodcock. They're going to be back soon, which means I could do a woodcock walk stream at some point. Late night stream. They sound so ridiculous. I'm guessing he's not going to have recordings of the full.
Red-tailed hawk.
Yeah, he's not. Ooh, screamy bird. Interesting they chose the dark morph to have the illustration of. Welcome in, Magpie. Yeah, it's a bald eagle, right? This is the call they use for bald eagles in movies, but it's a red-tailed
Common
hawk.
grackle. 6 examples of songs.
Common grackle. Oh, you had a nest in your field. So it says songs of common grackle are rather variable, yes. 1 to 4 short, harsh notes, sometimes slurred or wavering. Often spreads its wings when it
7.
sings. Yep. And this is the example of the call. Call 7. And next up is going to be Henslow's, and that's a super rare bird these days.
Henslow's sparrow. 1.
I can't recall if I've ever seen or heard a Henslow in person before. I don't think I have.
Two.
Used to live in Pennsylvania, and it's fun to hear some of these and recognize them, but wouldn't have heard them since. Yeah. Pennsylvania would get all these for sure.
Worm-eating warbler.
Certainly they'll get
1.
worm eating. At least in certain parts of Pennsylvania. I haven't come across any in Allegheny, but... Oh, neat. So they describe on this page the songs of these first 5 species on this band might be described as trills. So this is the trill complex of songs. Southwest. Okay, so you would
2.
definitely have probably got... Yeah, you would have gotten worm-eating warblers. Probably got Henslows, too. So there's a bunch of bird species that have
Pine
trills
warbler.
like this.
1.
And it's a smart idea to pair them together to compare them. And it's nice that they have this book to at least give you some context
2.
of where you might hear these. Pine warble will be in pines, yes, but also spruce and other conifers. But
3.
what I like to say with pine warblers, they're often very soft sounding from the ground. These recordings are probably pointed like, well, they are pointed right at them because he's using parabolic.
4.
But these are louder than they would seem in person.
Myrtle warbler. 8 examples.
So we now call this the yellow-rumped warbler for the most part, but I'll still call it myrtle sometimes because I think they'll get split up again. Genetic evidence say that this probably should be a different species again. Do you mean the bird songs, Magpie? Just right now? Because I am playing the actual LP. Or do you mean like where would it be? Yeah, so I have a turntable that has a USB out. So it's being fed right in. This is my first listening to this album.
Tennessee warbler.
Yep.
1.
So it's actually an LP that came with a book rather than a book that came with an LP. I think you missed the start, but yeah.
2.
Let's see. Look at Tennessee warbler here.
Three.
So this book is small and thin because it fits right inside the LP sleeve. It just flew in, yeah.
4.
And you can see it. This would have originally been $4.75 at the University of New Brunswick bookstore, Canadian. I got it for, I don't know if you can see it here, $2.49.
5.
Ooh, I don't know about you, but I've always found Tennessee warbler very harsh to the ears. That's what we're hearing now.
Wilson's warbler. 1.
Wilson's isn't as bad. I don't really encounter them singing much, though, because I only see them on migration. Yeah, laser beamy. These ones are the yellow with a black cap. It's hard to tell with a, illustration, but I guess somewhere here I have, yeah. I don't think so.
Dick Sissel. 7 examples.
So it's the Dick Sissel, which is they hang out with horned larks, which we were looking at earlier. Basically gets its name from the song. These are rare in Ontario. Like every few years a few will show up. They're really late migrants too. Oh, I can hear a buzz in it. That's interesting.
Long-billed marsh wren.
I'm curious
1.
about the equipment being used for this. I know, like a lot of bird names, of course. So long-billed marsh wren these days is just called marsh wren. What used to be called short-billed marsh wren is now the sedge wren. It's interesting choices here.
2.
Oh. So I'm working right now on a collection of recordings similar to this style. Well, not similar to the style. Quite a bit different actually, but the way I'm ordering things is more having to do with the songs you are most likely to hear and not be able to identify. I have played Wingspan, yes. I do have it here.
Killdeer.
This
1.
one's a common one. I just realized I had my speakers up higher than I need them.
2.
I'm sure for you guys it's loud enough. Or not too loud. Oh yeah, Killdeer's a really good card in the game. Those will be arriving soon here too.
3.
Yeah, I think I just had the volume too loud on my speakers, which are pointed at my ears, so I was like, wow, this is loud.
Belted kingfisher.
And then I realized, oops, I usually listen to this from across the room, not nearby. So, okay, kingfisher. It's right here. I think when they were selecting things for these albums, back in the day, it had more to do with the abundance of the recordings that the recordists even had.
Sora. 1.
So where's Meyer Godzilla? This one's I mean, it's not a ptarmigan, but it's close. Looks similar.
Two.
Yeah, he should be.
3.
I so rarely see Sora. It's always you hear them.
Common gallinule. 1.
The common gallinule. Another one we don't get to really see much, but we hear. We got one of these on stream one day, I remember. Yeah, Sora and Virginia rail tend to occupy the same habitat, but won't be in the same territory. So if you can get Virginia rail somewhere, you can get Sora there too, probably. Just not at the same time. Oh my god, they put terns and gulls in
2.
here. I'm really surprised at that.
Common tern. 1.
Terns.
2. 3. Herring gull.
Oh, we got a herring
1.
gull. This is not something I would normally consider throwing into a collection like this, but you know, I do have a few recordings of them.
2.
But they're just so common around here. It's usually not a by ear bird.
Three.
'N next one we have coming up, I'll give you the
4.
National Geographic version here. The red-headed woodpecker will be up next. I recently got this, which is a new book as of 2025.
Red-headed woodpecker. 1.
It's an interesting illustration. I think now that I turn down the speakers,
2.
I can turn up my mic again.
Red-bellied woodpecker. 1.
Here's the red belly in the National Geographic guide.
2.
These guys are getting more common around here in the last few years.
3.
Yeah, this would be in Pennsylvania a ton. They love older, decaying dead trees, stuff like that. Or dead snags, at least.
hairy woodpecker, 1.
These guys would be common in a lot of places. We get a lot of hairy woodpeckers around here. Plenty of dead trees, yeah. And that's good. Like, that's, certain creatures need dead trees. Part of the reason we didn't have very many red-bellied woodpeckers for a long time is people kept cutting down dead trees. Drumming rate is 5 or 6 per minute.
Downy woodpecker,
Right. Downy. This has the downy descending call. Hopefully we'll hear that. Right now we're just hearing chirps.
Two.
There we go. That's the downy descending. I'm surprised I didn't have more recordings of that. That should be very easy to get more recordings of. Oh boy, the starling's up next. I guess this was before they called it European starling, I guess.
Two.
Yeah, they're very common. They are very interesting. It's just, I think because of how common they are and because they're invasive, they've displaced a lot of natives for a long time. It's very easy to just not feel good about them. Yeah, exactly. They're fascinating in how well they can produce mimicry.
Four.
I think their populations have stabilized in the last, I want to say 40 years, though. I don't think they are as much of an invasive force as they used to be. Let's see. Purple martins. Here's purple martin with the actual purple from the Nat Geo guide. Oh yeah, they like to take over the house.
1.
Barn swallows are cool. These would just be the common swallow in Europe. Yeah, they're up at the top here.
2.
The book calls it a less prolonged nasal twitter. I've never really paid attention to that fact, but yeah, it does sound nasal, their call.
3.
Oh, still one more. But then we go to tree swallow. Oh wow, Seribot got a spammer.
Tree swallow, 1.
Oh, there we go. Tree swallow. There's tree swallow. All the way down to the spring adult. Their close cousin, the violet green swallow under there.
Eastern bluebird.
Good old bluebird. Them and the tree swallows are a good pairing because you end up with them in the same box. Or same design boxes, at least. Not a big fan of this illustration, though, but I guess it's hard to illustrate the colors of an eastern bluebird in pencil sketch. Here's a better. That's a better illustration. With all that color, it's hard to see how you would illustrate well with just pencil. Crack-filled spammer bird, yeah. Okay, blue-gray gnatcatchers are really wacky. See, the problem with that recording is just too close up. These birds do not sound loud at all. So part of what's missing from this recording is the rest of the environment, which would dwarf it out a bunch. Well, that's good, magpie.
Yellow-breasted chat.
So I think people might have this impression that like gnatcatchers are loud from this, and they're not at all. They're only loud if you put them up to your ear. Now chats, they can be loud. Oh, interesting. I didn't know about their separated by silence thing. That's a good identifier. Because I've never really come across a chat. And they're very rare around here. Yeah, it's the bird of chat. That's the end of the first side. That's neat. So I might just put into the background a different... I'm going to see if we get another LP. Just something a bit more backgroundy. So that one's got some talking in it. So I'm just going to look and see what I've got. I will be right back, but until that time... Yeah, chats are a thing. Most of the chat species are European, but we do have at least one around here. Cat took my chair when I got up. That's the label for that one. All right, I was going to put this one on as we wrap up here. This one is, this one has no narration. It's more of a little vignettes of habitats, starting with great horned owls and chorus frogs and wood frogs. This is stuff all recorded in Alberta by Catherine Thexton. This one's copyright 1987, but it was probably recorded in the early 80s. I can guarantee you I'm probably the only person to ever stream any of her vinyl LPs, because these are very obscure. Probably one of the only people to have a complete set. I think I have a complete set sealed even. Like I have a sealed copy of this in addition to that. Mantras and breathing stuff too. Yeah, exactly. So the way this album works is it goes through various habitats with different sets of songs and calls. So this first bit seems to be mostly focused on owls. Yeah, TFCA. Those kestrels, sapsuckers, woodpeckers. I think while this is running, I'm going to upload some of my photos and stuff. Let's see if I can. There are definitely frog sounds in there too, yes. Give me a second here. I'm going to rearrange what I can see on the monitor. And then I will show you. See. Actually, I should mute myself first before I do that. There we go. And then, sorry. Turn off the document camera here. And I'll upload some, we'll upload a few photos while this is running. Alright, snow buntings. There's our snow buntings. eBird. So that's processing. Wait, no, I got another tab for this. Where'd the tab go? Oh, wait, okay, sorry. I was doing it on the wrong browser. My bad. Let's go back to that checklist. I had it open in another browser. For some reason, this one's taking forever to load. So what I've uploaded so far, put that and that. Interesting sounds. What is this? Let me see if I can get my camera going again too here. 1 second. I used to have a toggle for that and I don't know what happened to it. Oh god, oh, there we go. Should be back now. May just have to adjust this a bit. And slightly. Yeah, okay, better now. This is that album again. Those kestrels. Oh, I see. What the weird sounds we were hearing was a long-eared owl making cat-like sounds. Speaking of cat, the chair I was sitting in. You see that there? Yeah. Okay, older checklist. Let's add some media. Oops. we have house finches. It might be the same male, they might be two different males. And then before that I have Fiddler's Green. Oh, Golf Links it's also called. We're gonna add media. Yeah, Morning Dove, so that could be, yeah, it does say that. So actually it doesn't say that, but there could be more. So this is the whole thing, but how Catherine Thexton did her vignettes is a different style than how the previous LP we were listening to did. That LP did everything as just like that, it's just that bird and you shouldn't hear much else in the background. This one she's trying to build a soundscape out of various recordings. And so there could be background birds that she may have mixed into it or may have just been part of some stereo recordings she did. But it's a different style, so you might hear some things that are not necessarily mentioned on the cover in the background. Let's see, what was I was going to upload here? It is... we got our northern cardinal. And then I need to make another list. I'll do that on another thing here. So I need to make a backyard list. How do I do that? I guess go to submit. Type in my region. Do this in another browser because it would be zooming into my house. The spot I use is obscurified, but still gotta be careful. What was the date on it? I'm just gonna choose a date. Station. We'll go incidental. But I'll show you the photo after. Submit. All right, let's go back to the browser the chat can see. There we go. We'll toss in. Oh, we didn't get back to the Alberta stuff this time, but that's okay. Stuff for another time. Ooh. Harris's sparrow. And now if I go to eBird, I should be able to look at species of the photos. And I should be able to set it so we can see everything from this year. eBird's being slow today. Alright, I'm going to be clearing that. We're going to be putting current year in. And refresh, that should look good. Why is the white-throated sparrow not there yet? Can't possibly be a rare bird. Or maybe it just isn't processed yet. I'm just going to check something here. No, it's there. Okay. Weird. Maybe it's just out of order. I don't know. Let's clear filters here for a second. My media. Date. Current year. Did I put the right year on it? Yeah, 2025. Huh, maybe incidental ones don't get processed the same way. Oh, no, here he is. Just a slow bit of processing on their end. So, a little recap from tonight. This was our first bird of the night for editing. Backyard white-throated sparrow, well, not juvenile, immature. First winter. And those big claws on them. We have a cardinal from Ancaster. This one's a cool photo because you can see the crest brushing the stem there. People get annoyed when they, stems and vine. This is a vine, I'm pretty sure, get in the way. But in this case, you can actually see it interacting with the bird, and that's even cooler. Now this says might be the same or an adjacent cardinal. And there was a couple cardinals in the spot, so. Oh, it might be the exact same one. That's the same spot, isn't it? Oh, it might be. Yeah, it is the same spot, so it is the same bird. And then a house finch from earlier today. Same, maybe house finch, not sure. And some snow buntings at the banding site. You can see a banded hornlark here, banded hornlark here. I don't see any other bands. Same site. Here's a band on a... Oh, that's another hornlark, I think. Oh, that might be a snow bunting. Is that it? And then, yeah, stuff from last time. Last time, a couple weeks ago, the same spot, we had this American pipit. And you can tell it was a little sunnier that day from these photos. And we had Lapland longspurs mixed in. And kestrel from last time. A bunch of good stuff last time. Alright, I think this is where I'm going to wrap up for the night. Ooh, there's a good clay-colored sparrow. Bathe in snow like the same? Yeah, sort of. I mean, snow buntings actually dig into the snow in order to sleep in it. Because they burrow in, and that's where they sleep for the night. Because that way they don't have any wind pressing against them, and the snow isolates and insulates everything. But they don't do it in the same way they would sand and dirt for the purposes of cleansing. Because the sand and dirt thing is actually sort of a cleansing thing involving feathers, because you want some grit in the feathers to push things like fleas or mites and stuff like that out of the feathers. And it's easier to get mites and things out of there if you just fill it full of sand and then start shaking. A lot of the mites will just shake off with the sand that way. Twitch.tv, let's see who's on. Thanks, Boat Ladder. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to see if I can find someone related to this online, but there's a... Wow, there's a long list of people. A lot of them retro gaming. Let's see. Just going to open some different ones here and see what's up. Oh, that one could be interesting. Just going to finish going through the list and then I'll choose something for us. Meanwhile, we are on... That sounds like a song sparrow. Yeah, it is a song sparrow. Like, I knew it was a song sparrow, but I wasn't seeing it on the list, and then eventually I found it. Metal Gear. What else we got here? Alright, let's take a look at this list. Oops. Mute. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the chance to raid Volcano Doc. She is doing editing of photos just like I was, except of volcanoes from a trip. It looks like. She's using Lightroom Classic as well. Same program. Or at least she's looking at different landscapes. I don't know if they're volcanoes or what they are, but it does say she's back from Volcano Adventures, though. It's all right. We'll go see Volcano Dock. Take a look at these. Yeah, I'm trying to tell what those. I guess that's just like a mountainside and some trees and stuff, but be pretty cool. All right. Have a good night, everybody. See you over at Volcano Docks.